Not necessarily a hell of a lot of lessons in this video, but it is certainly ripped from today's headlines. You see, the biggest story going around right now is that bridge collapsing in the Baltimore area, taking half a dozen lives along with it. Well, there is an Uber driver connection in relations to it. Check it out.
Uber driver's name is Gail Fairman, and she feels incredibly grateful to be alive. This is a screenshot. Take a look at this of her Uber route. She got a call yesterday, 1:16 a.m., to pick up a rider at the Amazon facilities in Sparrows Point. The destination was Brooklyn, right over the Key Bridge. When she arrived at Amazon, it took the rider a few minutes to come out, and then they were on their way.
Was approaching the bridge and got stopped by the police right at the front line and had no idea what was transpiring. I rolled down my window and asked him, what was going on, and he said the bridge was gone.
So when did you realize that you were, I don't even know how to say this, just moments away from being on that bridge?
In all honesty, if my passenger wasn't a little bit late coming out to the car and getting into it, we probably very well could have been on the bridge when it collapsed.
Gail says she couldn't see the bridge collapse because it was so dark and didn't hear it because her windows were up and the radio was on. She didn't fully comprehend the magnitude of what almost happened to her until she saw the videos posted on social media. She says she was trembling all day yesterday and is still struggling to wrap her head around the precariousness of that situation. Is just thankful to be here.
Trembling all day since she found out what happened. Why you out here, Grandma? Folks, we often talk about nothing good happens after midnight. Now, we're generally talking about, crimes happening, drivers being carjacked, beaten, up to and including loss of life. Not talking about a damn bridge collapsing. Not expecting a driver to be part of the old song, London Bridge is Falling Down. Nevertheless, we do often suggest that it is not favorable to drive after hours, certainly for a female. Grandmas can get it too. 1:16 a.m. is when she was out here. Now, not to make light of it, but certainly, I don't know if she's religious or not, but this is certainly the time to be thanking God that a passenger was a few minutes late, and it ultimately could have led to what saved her life. We do know about a half a dozen construction workers lost their lives on that bridge. So shout out to the authorities for shutting things down, preventing any further damage. But this is certainly one to reflect, to just simply, have a huge wow factor. Not a lot of lessons to really be learned in this. This is what qualifies as just a freak of nature, a freak accident. No way in hell anything else can be said about it. Now, we'll find out what the maintenance was like on that barge, that shipping vessel that ultimately caused this event. But at the end of the day, it's crazy how sometimes rideshare drivers are involved in local news. And we've had a few stories like this. We talked about a Palestine, Free Palestine protest in New York, where a protester got in the vehicle, took an Uber to the protest, and the driver found a damn grenade in his car. So a lot of these well-known stories, Uber and Lyft drivers are involved in them, as they used to say on Law and Order, ripped from today's headlines. Grandma out here at 1:16 in the morning. We've talked about the Baltimore area where the bridge was in the Baltimore area. That's a violent area for rideshare drivers to be in. I would never suggest someone, particularly a middle-aged female, out driving at 1 in the morning. Not advisable at all. But I understand people got to make a living. People got to feed their families. So certainly the phrase is you do you. By the way, did you see the screenshot of her trip? Actually, not the worst. Looking at what I seen there, it was a 45-minute trip. I believe it was 45 minutes, 16 miles. They were paying her $22 upfront fare. And according to what they posted on the screen, they actually increased her fare because her trip was delayed. Now, most likely the delay was sitting there once the police shut the bridge down. And it looks like her trip went up from $22 to $31 or so. Now, I'm assuming she got paid $31 for 45 minutes. We don't know how long she sat there, but I did see on the screen it stated that your fare was upgraded. Now, we know the upgrading of the fares usually for Uber and Lyft are pathetic, but this one doesn't sound that bad. I also saw a sign that said a $6 toll. I don't know if the toll was taken out of her fare or not. I don't have tolls in my area. Maybe some of you folks in the comment section can let yours truly and other drivers know that are getting in this game. Do you get reimbursed for the tolls? I know in New York there was this huge class action lawsuit because Uber was not giving drivers the tolls, they were keeping them. But in your market, do you have tolls? And when you have a passenger in your vehicle, do they reimburse you for said toll? Now, if you're going to pick up a passenger and you have to take the toll road to pick up the passenger, my guess is you don't get shit back. But let your boy know in the comments. Overall, it didn't seem like a bad trip for the lady. I don't know how she's going to feel being out there for a while, knowing that she almost lost her life, but it's good to have her still with us among the land of the living. Stay safe, folks. As always, feel free to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.